Today, I'm sharing 8 habits and mindset shifts that helped me actually enjoy my life again, even with chronic pain. And yes, over 50. Well over 50 now. If you've been feeling like you're stuck in a cycle of pain and exhaustion, I promise there's hope. These are not going to be wild, climb a mountain every day suggestions. These are real life shifts that you can actually start today. So grab a cup of coffee and let's get into it. I'm Lauren. I help those of us over 50 navigate life, chronic pain, and self-love in a way that actually feels good. So let's dive in. The first one, stop overcommitting. This one truly hits home. Even as a little girl, I knew that I wanted to be a mom. That was like my dream, besides being a movie star and a singer and a dancer. But being a mom was nearest and dearest to my heart. And I wanted to be that mom that did everything. It was almost like a mission that I was on, to be this perfect mom. Things were pretty rough when I was younger. I would tell myself, I'm not going to let my kids go through what I'm going through right now. I was already setting up in my mind this perfect mom that I was going to be. I didn't even have any idea what that meant, but I just knew it. I planted that seed a long time ago. So when the time came, I did do everything I could to love them and support them as they were growing up, and helping at school, joining them for lunch at school, going on field trips, taking pictures as the class photographer. I even started a business back then where I was painting accessories for your home. I was antiquing signs and stenciling messages and waxing and sealing them downstairs in my basement. And I would stay up so late doing that because I enjoyed it. And I wasn't home during the day to work on a hobby or to give time to a hobby, because I was too busy running around thinking that I was being the perfect mom. Some days that meant I was out on errands, or I was shopping, spending money, buying things for my home because I wanted it to look just right. Now I have so many pieces and like antiques and decorations, and yeah, it feels cozy, but there can be a middle ground because it's an awful lot to dust, and it's also a lot for thinking clearly, and we'll get into that a little bit more. Then, when I'm not here to enjoy all of these things, they have to be addressed. They have to be gone through, and that's going to be a big pain in the ass. So I'll definitely start doing that in the near future. I'm sure you can tell where I'm going with this, and I soon was burnt out and was in a lot of pain. That was a lesson. Like everything that ends up as a failure, or I'm not going to say that my plan failed, but we burn out when we ask too much of ourselves so many times consecutively. And that's what I was doing. And I didn't even see it clearly because I was so set on being a perfect mom. I forgot to first make sure that everything's okay with me, physically and mentally, spiritually. That leads us right into the second one that I started doing, and that was listening to my body. This is our guide. Our intuition will let us know what we need and what we don't need if we can be quiet enough to hear it. But if you're running around like I was running around all the time, I never had a chance to stop and listen. I didn't make time for that opportunity. There's a big difference with listening to your body and then doing something about it. It's actually 2 steps. It's not just listening to your body. You want to acknowledge what your body's telling you. And if your body is saying, we need a rest right now, we're feeling run down, we've done a lot, take a break. And I can say, I confess, I definitely would receive that message sometimes and not listen, not respect it. And so I was self-sabotaging because I was not listening to myself. And you and I both know that if someone really close to us or one of our kids was saying they felt so tired and run down, we would very much encourage them to take a rest. I just wanted to get more done and deal with the consequences later. Now, if I feel a whisper from my body, I will respond before it becomes a scream. And that might mean not recording a video. It has meant that. That wasn't easy the first time. And the second time, it was a little bit less difficult. But it's what's needed. Because if I were to record the video feeling that way, it wouldn't be that good anyway. And I would end up having to redo the video instead. Not even use the one that I pushed myself through. Because you can feel that in a video as the person viewing. Sometimes it meant canceling plans, and I would feel very badly about it. However, I also, after the fact, I felt good that I was respecting my body and listening and being more respectful of what I needed. And you'll see how it's hard in the beginning to cancel. But canceling for this reason, it gives you this sense of being taken care of, and it's a much safer feeling. Sometimes it would mean I just needed to lay down in the middle of the day for a little while. I just needed like a little nap to rejuvenate. Those have actually really slowed down, and they're few and far between when I need to stop to take a nap. So I found the more I listened to my body, the more I showed respect to what I needed, the less pain I felt, because I wasn't pushing myself so much, So I mentioned that when I canceled plans, I felt guilty. Feeling guilty is not good. I would also feel like that if I took a rest. And the whole time before I would fall asleep, I would be thinking of all the things that I needed to do. I wouldn't let myself really calm down. Even though I was physically stopping the activity, I would still allow my mind to wander about, oh, I need to finish that. Oh, I need to empty the dishwasher. Oh, right, I didn't finish that checklist that I started. There's always going to be things that need attention, but that doesn't mean they have to get attention in that moment, and some of them at all. So the more I practiced and the more time went on, I was able to strengthen that muscle. I was able to strengthen that muscle to listen and make a decision about what I needed and not feel guilty. Resting is almost like part of my medicine. Taking a rest, even if it's just for a small amount of time, it gives your body that chance to refresh, to reset, instead of going. And this too will actually help to decrease your pain. You will actually begin feeling safe more of the time, and therefore not needing to feel those danger messages as much, which would feel like pain. I touched on this a little bit when I was talking about the accessories and the antiques around the house and the clutter that can create. So simplifying my surroundings. This is one that I'm still working on, but very important. There is too much. Here is a painful truth. Clutter can steal your energy. I didn't notice that until I started filling my first bin, and it's a great feeling. I had magazines that I was saving in case I needed a picture of something specific for a project, and so many things, receipts from years and years ago. So it wasn't just the decorations, it's also my collection of all the kids' school and artwork. Do you have a little collection? I'm not quite sure. I have some ideas for it that I'm happy to share with you if you're interested. But I know they're not going to want all of those projects. What are they going to do with them? I think they're wonderful. And I have lots of them all around the house, but there's still a lot in the collection closet. Yeah. So we're still working on the thinning out of decor and collections. They honestly are just things. We have our memories to cherish. Some of us are lucky enough to even have photographs or video. A lot of the things that we keep and collect, we don't even look at them again, but they interfere with our mindset. And it's like a lighter feeling all over your body when you start thinning out the things in your home. You collect less dust too. This is especially important with us because of our chronic pain, and it's moving gently. So it's being mindful about the way we move. In my 30s, exercise was a lot different than it is now, close to 60. You know, I may have been able to keep up with an aerobics class when I was 20, but that's not the appropriate workout for me now. Getting those steps out and raising them high, no, not anymore. Now the exercises that work best are stretching in the morning, going for a walk, and it doesn't have to be a power walk, but a walk, getting out in fresh air, having the sun on my skin and getting that vitamin D and appreciating the beautiful nature all over, looking at the gorgeous sky. These are all things that make a difference in how we feel and our mindset. And I remember when I first started to go outside and walk after like 10 years of being inside, mostly in my bed, I remember how beautiful it felt having the sun in my face. It wasn't too hot. It was like the perfect kind of day with no humidity and the fresh air. There was like a nice breeze. It just felt so good to be in that open space, hearing the birds chirp after being inside for so long. I mean, I would leave for a doctor's appointment, but that's it. So I realized then how important it is to take a walk. If you're not up to walking, just getting outside can make a difference. If I want to do more of a workout, I have bands to use for that. I can do resistance training with bands. I have light weights. This is perfectly suitable for my exercise now. And if I'm in the mood, or if I put on some good music, I'll just dance, because that is my favorite, which I've mentioned lots of times. But dancing to me is a great exercise. There's no rules to it. It can look any way. And make sure that your movements are gentle. We don't want to overdo it and pay for it later. The sixth one is creating mini joyful moments. When I was having a lot of chronic pain, and it was frequent and it was daily, there were a lot less joyous moments. I actually didn't even notice all the joyous moments because I was in so much pain. It's not hard for that to happen. So we have to make a conscious effort to spot the joyous moments, to look for them. And the more we look for them, the more we just start noticing them. For example, if I'm even just spending time watching a show with my son, I will think to myself, now I appreciate this moment so much. What a beautiful moment to get to be here right now with my son, to have this time together, because I know there's going to be a day where he's in his own house and I'm here missing him, like my other son that has moved out. When we're in pain a lot, it's easy to get stuck in the sadness. I know it is. It's important that we take any opportunity to notice the good times. Just like when I say, if you're having pain in your leg, try, and I know it's hard, it's easier said than done, but if you can start to notice where you feel good. So like I would have agonizing pain in my leg, and I would begin to notice the other parts of my body that kind of just feel like nothing, and try to think about how great that was. It's not the easier one to do. And I think you want to create these joyful moments on purpose. The things that you enjoy, that bring you happiness, a cup of coffee, reading a book, if there's someone that you really enjoy watching, anything, a walk, anything that brings you joy, snuggling with your puppy. These are the kind of things you want to create on purpose to bring you joyfulness, to bring you happiness, and that warm and fuzzy feeling all over. It needs to be intentional at first, and it will become natural. It will become more natural to you. It's like building that muscle. And all of those small, joyful moments, they all build up upon each other and have a great lasting effect on you and contribute to feeling less pain. Protect your mornings. Mornings set the tone for the day. And for me, it's important that I don't feel rushed in the morning. I used to wake up, look at my phone right away, start my mental to-do list of what I needed to get done. I don't start my day like that. I don't do that anymore. Now I take my time in the morning. I know that in the morning, once I have my coffee and I've done some breath work, I'm ready to start working, because that's when my mind is sharpest, it's clear and creative, and I love to work at that time. That's just you know how you have a certain time when certain activities are just more appropriate, and you are more like, there's more of a chance you're going to get on a roll and lose track of time. So by starting your day the right way, it sets the pace, it sets the tone for the rest of your day. It really does affect how we feel. Even when I wake up, I will make sure I slowly get up and literally slowly get out of bed, because I easily lose my balance and have fallen. It's important that we take our time, and the benefits of doing that, again, are having less pain. Finally, our last one for this list: redefine productivity. I used to measure my worth by how much I would get done. If my list wasn't empty at the end of the day or all crossed off, I would feel that was not a successful day. That's pretty harsh. Now I've learned productivity can be measured with time and energy well spent. So some days success is filming a video. Other days a success could be I listened to my body and I rested. It's the time well spent, well directed time. They both count and both matter. So that's my list of 8 habits and mindsets that will help you to enjoy your life more over 50 and even with chronic pain. They're not necessarily glamorous tips, but they work. They're real and they're applicable for you. And you don't have to do every single one and make every single change, but you can start with one today. And whichever one you do start with, let me know in the comments below how it went for you. Also, I'm going to attach a free PDF in the description box that will be sort of like a guide to remind you of these practices and give you a little clue or hint on how to implement them. Remember, joy is not something you wait for. It's something we create, one small habit at a time. You've got this. Sending you so much love and healing light. Namaste.